Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Just looking at the harvest here. Okay. There's one. There's two. And over here, I just decarbed my first time ever in the oven using aluminum foil over a glass container. And if I zip down here, you can see them in there. Now this is still extremely hot. I'm just letting it cool down in here. What you do is you put the aluminum foil on to keep the aroma down in your house. Otherwise it's going to stink like hell. So I decarbed this in the oven at 240 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. And I'm just letting it sit and cool down, and then I'm going to transfer this into my jars for storage. And I have to repeat this process many times over because of the amount I got. So that's what I've been doing. But now that I've kind of mastered the oven decarbing, I can then incorporate that into making the oil or can of butter or organic coconut oil. Infuse it into that, infuse it into unsalted butter, or just make the RSO using alcohol. So the nice thing about doing the decarb this way, it's controlled. It's already done, so all you have to do is then infuse it to whatever product you're going to use as your solvent, whether it be unsalted butter, organic coconut oil, or alcohol. Now if you're doing alcohol, you obviously still have to boil the alcohol off, and then what's left over is your medicine. So this will be a lot better way of making RSO. If you decarb it first, then mix it all together in some alcohol, and basically just let you can either redistill the alcohol or to recapture it, or just slowly let it boil off, and then you don't have to worry about decarbing. You just boil the alcohol at its boiling point, and then once it's gone, all that's left is your medicine that you're ready to transfer into a jar of some sort. So pretty cool. Alright guys, so I'm just going to pop the top on this aluminum foil to give you guys a look at the decarbed buds in here. Now a lot of leaves are still on here, but that's okay because the way I do things, see how they're nice golden brown toasted? Probably hard to see because of the shadows I'm getting here, but that'll be a little bit better. See how it's like golden brown toasted type of deal? It's looking good. So what I'm going to do is remove this because it's actually condensing and we don't need any moisture in there. So this is warm enough, no moisture in there. I did a small batch as a starter, but I have 2 of these glass oven safe containers, and now I can use these 2 at a time in the stove without any issues. And now for your ovens guys out there, every oven is different on temperature, so I recommend you buy a oven safe temperature probe, and I bought 2 of them just in case. They actually came in a 2-pack, so I use those it took me half a day to determine on my particular electric oven the proper temp for getting 240 exactly for 40 minutes. And then I made a mark right on the stove permanently with permanent marker as to my setting. So in the future, I just click it over to it and good to go. I still use the probe to preheat the oven for half hour. I preheat the oven to 240. Then you insert your glass container, obviously with the aluminum foil on to keep the odor down. But it all cooked and decarbed really well. See how it's like a brownie color in there and all the buds. So I'm going to transfer this now. The glass is still fairly warm, but I think it's just a tad bit too warm for me to carry. So I will just bring the glass jar out here and fill the glass jar up with this spud, and that will be then stored, and it's ready to go for sometime later on when I use this stuff to infuse it. So stay tuned for those videos, guys. Alrighty guys, so this is the large jars I ordered off of Amazon, and they're going to be perfect. So I put all that entire small batch first that we first decarbed in here for storage and fasten the lid. Just store in a cool, dry place. And I'm going to fill this entire jar up and the other jar by the time we're done, and probably more jars because it was a great harvest this year. And now I will have the ability to make lots of RSO, can of butter, or body rubs like here. Perfect. Alright guys, I'm going to try to cut this damn thing so I can get this damn 2x4 out of here. So I'm going to have to cut the plywood. I changed the depth, so it will cut into the 2x4 a little bit, but mostly just this plywood the hell out of here so I can work and go to town. So I'm probably going to cut all the way back to here for access, and it is what it is. And I'm out of battery. Of course! What else will go right? Or wrong, I should say. Are you serious? Both my batteries are dead? Fuck! I swear to God. Well guys, nothing says aggravation like getting to your trailer and having dead batteries when you're trying to get to work. Here's my little rant. My dad's truck is in the shop for brake issues. He has my truck. I couldn't get my mom's car to drive all the way out here. Until now. And then when I finally get out here, I find he's sitting here working, and well, he should have picked me up to get back to work over here. So, wasted the morning, basically, farting around with this bullshit for something he caused by drilling screws in my roof. So yeah, real happy times here at the tiny house, guys. Rob is just raging. So I gotta charge the batteries, wait for this thing to be so I can cut it, rip this the hell out of here, and then I can get to town working on finding this leak. Now, I'm so pissed off I forgot the Sawzall and the rocker guard at home. I'm going to look around to see if I have an extra can around here. I doubt it. I'm pretty sure I used up all of that stuff. But yeah. And guess what, guys? Tomorrow I got to work. So it's a write-off tomorrow. I got to get what I can get done here in the corner done today. So as long as I get that done, I'm going to be fine. But all these delays and setbacks just rile me the hell up, unlike anything else. And possibly now, once I dig into this corner, I'm probably now going to have to pull the battery box out before I fill it up with any more weight, aka sand. Look in this corner. I might as well just cut this 2x4 out and see what the hell's in there, just for shits and giggles. Because when this battery box is full of sand, good luck moving it. So, yeah, just wonderful time here at the tiny house, guys. Cold weather is here. I got my hoodie on, but I'm raging hot right now. I can actually take it off right now. I'm really pissed. Anyways, I got the harvest done of my plants. The farmers will be done in about a week and a half. Then I'll be back at that, doing that again. Other than that, I did a successful decarb in the oven. Know how to do it properly now. Set up the oven properly. So now I can do double batches every 40 minutes and everything should be good. Can't beat that. And once all that stuff's decarbed, then I can go ahead and infuse it into whatever I need to. But for now, I'm dealing with this mess. Now, luckily, last night it went down to a light rain, and it's still misty out, misting, just light, very light rain going on. So I closed the bypass, so I'm going to be catching water again. No leaks, by the way, over there, thank God. So, and the fan has helped dry up the floor here fairly well overnight, which is great. I'm battling a no light situation, so I got that. Primo donated this to me very early in my off-grid tiny house channel, which is awesome. Thanks. That's an awesome light, that USB LED. And then I got my rope light, which isn't very good for what I'm doing, but this USB LED is gonna do the trick. And go from there. So I'm just waiting on these batteries to charge up, because they don't hold a charge with a crap. But the nice thing is, with the new lithium iron phosphate setup, everything in the tiny house is a tickle to the batteries now. It laughs at it. It laughs at it hard. And it's easier on the MPPT and the solar as well, because before the solar had to work and the MPPT had to work their bag off to keep filling up the two batteries. Now that there's four, I doubled my capacity. It's a more even flow of everything, and everything runs smooth. That's the only thing running smooth in the tiny house right now, which is hilarious. I've had I guess recent bad luck, apparently. Ever since the shit weather hit on the 22nd. It's just, everything's gone downhill from then. So, I'm going to dig into this corner as soon as these batteries are done. In the meantime, I'm going to charge up my radio, get something on, because this is annoying. Alrighty guys, we're going up the ladder. Oh, right here, straight ahead, I found a wet rivet that was not rocker guarded. This one wasn't sealed as well, so I'm going to cut this back a little bit more, and I'm going to rocker guard all this. Now I found there's white silicone in here that I do not remember putting on, and if I did, it was not a good idea, because it still seems fairly wet, if you ask me. So sorry about the radio. It's super interference because I'm charging it at the same time, but gives me some little bit of entertainment. News gets going on. But I'll do some more digging. I'll dig out a big chunk here, and then all this down here seems to be all right. None of the leaks originated up here. It was here and here. Okay. So what I plan on doing, and let me look back here. Is there any water? Yeah. Is that water? No, it's just shiny paint or something. Semi-gloss. Okay, most of everything's dry over here. It's just this nonsense over here I gotta take care of. This was rocker guarded and painted and foamed, by the way, so it's just, I'm gonna redo this area here, cut out. See, I can see in there, there's a hint of little moisture So I'm going to keep digging into this far corner. So there's a little moisture in here. I'm going to keep going with the knife, dig it out. Be back in a bit. Alrighty guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. The cold Off-Grid Tiny House. So, I just got back. I took my dad over. We dropped off my mom's vehicle, took my dad over, got his truck back. I got my truck back. So while we were dropping the car off, I grabbed the Sawzall, spray foam, and rocker guard. So I'm going to continue to investigate up here and dig a little bit, see what's going on. I probably haven't showed you anything up there yet, so let's go ahead and do that. So hang on tight so you guys don't get motion sickness just yet. Oh. So up here, somebody did a silicone job, and I'm pretty sure it sure as hell wasn't me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dig back to the top of this seam with the knife and dig all this silicone out. This guy I found moisture on, this bolt here that was not sealed. So I did seal this bolt. I never got access to this part of the trailer or this part, so I'm gonna have to seal these, seal this guy, seal this guy, seal this seam. But I gotta continue to dig up to that seam connection mark where the water's getting in. Because basically it was flowing down, dripping down here, flowing backwards this way. It found a space and then it came down and was causing the issue. So I'll keep on digging. We'll go from there. Carefully come down here. Now, the other problem I have is my entire solar setup is hanging off of this 2x4 now. All this weight is hanging off of there. Now, if it were to fall down, it's going to hit the battery box here, but still, I got to reinforce this somehow or something. So yeah, but that's later. I just want to get this leak situation figured out. I still going to have to take the knife and dig out the foam around the base on the floor and probably do some major damage recovery mitigation. So yeah, fun. Well guys, I've been digging away up here and I exposed another bolt up here, but look at this. You see the daylight coming out of here? This is silicone. I've been working and digging all this silicone out, and then I stumbled upon this. This is definitely not my work. This must be original to the trailer. So I'm going to try to clean this out as best I can, and then I'm going outside on the ladder to see exactly where this location is. And then I got some serious work to do to solve this. So that's just wonderful. No wonder we had water. So I'm going to keep on digging and I'll figure out what to do next. Well guys, look at this. That is where I just shoved out all that silicone. And this part of the trailer was damaged at one point in time. There's the panels. But look at this. Now I'm out of Eternal Bond tape. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot some spray foam in here from inside out, and then I will just put some aluminum tape over this until I get a proper repair. Now you can see here even it's nasty. So I'm going to pour the foam to this and then fix this up. as best I can. It's still wet. It's going to rain again. It's not fun. Alright. Here we go, guys. So, first I rocker guarded all the rivets and bolts that I had to. I then spray foamed internally here, all the way up. And I'm going to be adding more to fill in all this space, by the way. On the outside, I went on the ladder, foamed from the outside as well, and since all I had was aluminum tape, that's what I used. And I made a makeshift shed, so I put it over top, and it pretty much shed everything. Now, here it kind of got pushed out, so I have to add some more foam, it looks like. I'll go get the can. But, yeah, I'm going to let this dry before I go ahead and, there's a bug there. Kill that. I'm going to let this dry first before I go ahead and do anything else with any more foam. Just so I can monitor it to see if we're good. So this area is going to be left open. But for now, I'm going to rip apart the floor down here and clean up all this mess that I've made. Wonderful. See you in a bit. Well, everybody, that looks pretty bad since I've been foaming. So I'm going to have to end up cutting out this 2x4 to at least back here for now, to see what else is under there. Meanwhile, my solar wall fell on top of the wires, crushing them underneath the battery box. Man, you know it'd be nice? Some help. But, yeah, not in my lifetime. So anyways, I am going to try to fix this issue. Right now I got a 2x4 jacked up. I need to lift up this entire side, and I have nowhere to fasten this wall to because there's nothing but foam here. So, Rob is getting angry again, as usual. So I gotta quickly go cut this 2x4 out of here. Let it air dry. I'm gonna bleach it. I'll bleach it before I leave, and then this is going to be fixed before I leave today. The solar wall. Wonderful, wonderful nonsense going on. Alright guys, my camera battery's running low. Completely, I ripped this sideboard out. It's pretty wet rot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bleach all this before I leave. But that'll be later. Now the fumes are getting to me for the rocker guard because I had the tiny house closed up. Probably not the best idea. What I'm going to do, shut the inverter off and kill it here. And I got to jack this up with this 2x4 one way or the other. I have no help, and it's just wonderful. So either that 2x4 or I'm going to find one to jack up this end, and I need to lean it backwards somehow, but all the weight's on the front, which is just wonderful right at this moment. So yeah, as usual, on my own, but at least I got everything foamed before the big rain, and hopefully that cures very quickly. And I got it sealed on the outside with tape anyway, so I'm going to monitor this situation and see what it looks like when I get here to late tomorrow, which is going to be stupid. I have to do massive cleanup in here before I leave, before I even bleach. I am getting really pissed, but anyways, that's just me. Alrighty guys, so I had to get a little creative. I took a chair and I just have it hanging on the back ass end of this wall on this screw to have some weight pulling backwards. I jacked up this end with a board and got a screw in there. And this guy's up off the wires now. Everybody's hunky-dory. If this breaks, I'm screwed. That's all I know. So, yeah. So, I'm hoping to get this repaired as soon as possible. I may have to end up just saying screw this solar wall and making something else. But I need something to fasten to, like a wall. So, I may have to end up using one of these wall panels as an actual wall to put the solar stuff up onto. Which is an absolute pain in the you-know-what. But anyways, that's it for today at the Disaster Tiny House. And I'm going to bleach all this wet rot mold down here very well. Very good with the bleach. And get the hell out of here because of the fumes. Looks like the foam has expanded fairly well up there. And everything should be hunky-dory for at least a day or so until I'm leaving this to air open, and so if I see any moisture and if this is still wet down here, then I'll know we still got more work to do. Oh, wonderful. Now, in order for me to check under the battery bank, I have to pull it out. So that's going to be fun. But I'm out of battery power. I'm going to leave the camera here and start bleaching. So see you guys later. Alrighty guys, it's Friday. I'm back over here just after work. This was what happened after I left. So right here, you guys can see this little drip of water I just hit with my glove. So I'm going to take my one glove off and feel up where this water's coming in at. I know you can see it right here. See, it's wet. I think that's coming in outside at that crack. So I'm gonna have to foam all this in still heavily to seal this up. It's basically all I can do, really. So I will foam this right now and do what I can. It's the only really thing I can do to seal it from the inside. The outside, I'm going to have to do some more work to seal it. I'll pull my aluminum tape off and rocker guard. I think that's the answer. Oh, right here there's some water. Oh, this thing's still pretty wet. My towel here. I have to set this out. That's just wonderful, isn't it? Right here, guys, see this? Water. Yeah, not pretty. Not pretty whatsoever. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll go on the outside first and see what's up there. Alrighty guys, so what I did was above every container that I have up here, I dug into the roof. I didn't see anything here. Here we definitely found a rusted rivet that I'm going to seal up. And here we have a missing rivet that has, I can push right up into the tape on the roof, which is crazy. So I'm going to have to seal it from the top and bottom and in here. And now the biggest thing right now is I dug in where this leak was over here And look what's happening. This is one of the ribs that goes across the ceiling for structure. As I ripped out all this wet foam, this started going this way. So I'm wondering if I should put my knife up through here and follow this groove. Now this is the groove that, if you follow this goes all the way across to the other side, which may be feeding both sides of the leak issue. So I think I may have to knife that open just to see. I'm gonna carefully set the camera up and see if I can do this on camera. This rag is really wet though, so give me a second here, guys. I'm gonna grab a dry rag to set the camera up on.
America is listening to Fox News.
Alright. I gotta get these leaks taken care of because they're driving me bananas. You guys can't see squat. So I'm gonna pray my camera angle is in line here with the... Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally hit the record button. So I'm gonna poke this on the back end with the knife and see what happens.
You just may want to stay on the Southfield Freeway to 7 Mile, hang a right, and
why is this thing moving?
You should be fine.
Shouldn't be.
Southfield Freeway southbound at Grand River. The wreck has been
wrap that towel up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut back from here back to see where this leak is. There must be quite a bit of water in here, or it could be doing this right now. Just saying.
Learn more at smcnica.org. Also sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home,
I'm chasing a leak as we go here. So if I'm able to find the actual hole, that'd be fantastic. This stuff is sopping wet. See, this is what I'm afraid of. If I cut into this, am I going to just chase it across the ceiling in the tiny house? Is that what's going to happen? I'm not entirely sure. We're going to find out. Okay. Looks like we're getting somewhere. Oh. Damn rags falling off.
For them to show us exactly what was wrong with our water. There were no high pressure sales taxes. They represent the company that makes the salting system that is going to fix our problem. So the minerals that are shortening the lives of our appliances, the hot water heater. Also, we've got a hot water heating system. I can only imagine what it's doing to the heaters there.
Okay, the water seems to have stopped, so I must be dead nuts near the actual leak, which is a good thing. That's what I'm looking for. This side seems to be fairly dry with foam.
Every time I buy gas, does it actually add up to anything? The most, I make $200 to $300. Wow!
Okay, what's this rust I see up here? Keep this light in here.
Use promo code CAB for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use
Oh, what is this?
for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CAB. This is the Guy Gordon Show on News Talk 760.
This is where it's sopping wet in here. This is where I'm guessing the leak is.
We've got this calling to us. We've got a great show planned to you. For you, lots of good information. Just Bryson DeChambeau hit a 417-yard drive in the Ryder Cup to even his match with the Scottish Open. It's his partner in this thing. It's the best ball portion right now. He made eagle on par 5. But he just made a decent pitching wedge with a great one. Other than that, he's all over the course because the winds are whistling straights. We'll get into the Ryder Cup stuff with our best buddy Brian Cairns in just a few minutes.
Okay, we're getting a lot of water now.
Here are some of our musical selections today. We've got a date for you. If you don't have one for this Saturday night, we're going to send you to the Andiamo Celebrity Showroom. Chaz Palminteri.
Right in here, guys. This area here, sopping wet. I'm gonna have to keep on digging through to see where the actual leak is. Got a nasty rusty rivet here. I'm guessing that goes all the way through to the roof. And we got another drippy drip here. So I'm gonna cut some more back and around to expose where the hell this leak is coming from. Be back then. Alrighty guys, so I dug out a good majority of the ceiling where that water was, and it's looking like down in here possibly there's something going on. Now I won't know until I leave this completely open and wait for the next storm. So that is the plan. Right now I got a fan running up here just to dry everything out as best I can, and then I'll put some kind of container under here just in case, and go from there. This is filled in nicely, so I'm happy about that. I still got more nasty wood down there to deal with, but I did bleach it again. I have the window open, and I also have the Auric on medium, and I got a whole lot of crap to clean up, that's for sure. Solar's doing great. It's not even tickling the battery with all this stuff on. Now I'm gonna leave these areas open, I think, for the next storm. This one I'm gonna poke a screw through and set the ladder up and see exactly where that hole is and try to seal it from above. I believe it's under the tape, so I don't know how water's getting in there, which is bizarre. Pretty disappointed about that. I'm not sure how that's even happening, but whatever. Yeah. So I might as well leave these wide open too for the next rainstorm as well, just to see what happens. So I'm gonna get to cleaning this stuff up anyways in the meantime and go from there. Alright guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. I let everything air dry, and then I poured the rocker guard. I put the nozzle right in here and just dominated these rivets. I didn't do anything here, but I got the container. I got the container here, and I hit this one really well as well. Containers are staying. I'm leaving this open tonight because we're gonna get rain tonight, if the weather forecaster is right. And did the same up here. This is the kind of the bigger area I hit, and I just rocker guard the crap out of it, and I got my big fan under it for tonight to catch any possible nasty. I'm running this fan across the bleached lumber to dry it out. I've been running my electronic air cleaner, and it seems to be doing quite the job, so it's definitely due for cleaning here soon. We're losing daylight hours, so I'm sitting at 13.32. Let me reset this because sometimes this thing does not. Well, the majority of the time, I should say, does not give me what the reading of power coming in is. So we're bringing in 3 amps. It's fluctuating because we're losing sunlight. Been helping my dad next door getting out of the fumes in here. The fumes aren't bad in here now, and I got the window jacked open. So I still gotta. Basically, I need to go back, shower, all that fun stuff. Let me zoom in here. Now there's a seam above there, but that's just the rail that is pressing up against the aluminum. There's nothing up there touching it. It's just actually, it's not attached. It's just kind of there. So, like I said, I'm gonna monitor all this nonsense tonight, and when it rains, and we'll see what happens. And like I said, this corner filled in really nicely, so we'll see any nonsense that may possibly happen back there, but I think we're gonna be okay. I got some more cleaning to do before I put the bed down, and I'm just gonna chill here, and I still got to get some dinner in me and all that nonsense, so we'll get there one way or the other. And I threw out some rags. I bought some rags, and I got some knives over here that I was using. $4 for 4 knives, serrated steak knives. They work really well. Been cutting a lot of foam with them. Those are from Dollarama as opposed to Dollar Tree. So once we get these, once we get this water issue resolved, I think we'll be laughing, guys. So far, so good. I actually had the little fan right up here where this pan's sitting, blowing straight up to dry it out before I rocker guarded everything. So I think we're going to be okay one way or the other. I'm going to go give my dad a hand and get back to you in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Saturday morning. It's starting to rain, so I'm over here checking on things. Just got out of bed actually. My dad came to the door, and here we go. We got a drip here now. So I think what I'm gonna do is start cutting this section out and go from there to see what's the deal with this water here. In here too, see? So I'm gonna continue my cut to join these two together, see where that water's coming in at. Over here seemed to be dry as a bone, which is a good thing. I'll take you over here. The same thing is going on. I threw some rags up, see there? I'm gonna have to cut over to the big gap and go on from there. So I'll give you updates as it goes, guys. There's water here too. Right there. There it is. So cut from here over to that hole and over to this hole, see where this water's coming in at. Alright guys, I started digging. I put a piece of board over the battery box, and I think I'm getting some progress. First I found this patch somebody did that probably needs attention. Then found a little moisture up above, but this was the big winner here when I hit rust. So I gotta work my way back here, I guess, to find out the source. And then I did find some more problem rivets. But this guy seems to be dripping pretty steadily right now. And it's dangerously close to my battery box. So you can see it there. It is raining out still. So I gotta follow this path backwards. And I'm kinda, it's right above the battery box, guys. So kinda getting a little iffy about following it during the rain myself, because I'm sure I can follow the rust after the fact when it's not raining on a non-rainy day, and work my way back until I get the battery box buttoned up. But wonderful. Whoops. So I'm gonna probably leave this for now, and then I'm gonna go on the other side and deal with cutting in here over. It looks like it's on the same track. These two rails here hit both sides, so it's got to be center somewhere, I'm assuming. So from these rags over to that hole, if you follow the two rails in the ceiling, hits at least these two. This one might have just been filling crossways from these two leaks and was dripping there. So that's what I think is going on. So we're getting it tracked down anyways, guys. And I got my headlamp on. Ghostbusters. So I just got to make sure no water gets into the battery bank. Yeah, because it's dripping pretty heavy, and I think it's, yeah, it's hitting the wood. So I'm gonna have to do something. I have to extend out the steel. So I'll do that now. Hey guys. So the rain has kind of slowed up, but like I said, I didn't go any further this way because of the battery box situation. And I just noticed on my newly painted wall this nonsense here, rust crap. So not good. I'm just wondering if that stain there has anything to do with anything. Possibly too. It's just sprinkling lightly now. So I'm just leaving this out open to air dry, hopefully. But we got some problem rivets again. But the rust, I'm going to chase that all the way back and see what happens there. Now up here, I caught quite a bit of water that was leaking out of this guy here into the dish, but it's since dumped on the floor down there as I was working up here. And he also exposed two rivets and also a patch somebody did up here. So yeah. So right now I'm just letting it air dry. I don't see any signs of actual water, just the stuff that was up here. Anything pouring out or dripping anywhere heavily. I think I gotta let the rain catch up. Now here is a spot that I could probably continue on back towards this way to dig into, but I think it's just running. I'll probably take this chunk out because it's running this way, the water. So I'll keep going digging in there because I have no battery box under here to worry about, and go from there. So you guys see the rocker guard I did Obviously didn't do much here, but I don't know if the water's penetrating there or if it's traveling back across the bar. Water does some pretty strange stuff, you know, where it goes where it wants to go. So and this is like all foam in here. It's all saturated inside of there completely. So obviously no mold's been growing, but the foam is just brutal. So I'll be spending most of the day working on this, because until I get this solved, there's no point of going any further. So yeah, I'll keep on trucking and see what happens. Well, guys, I discovered a lot more of these. It looks like PL Premium they used to patch it, but look at this. I think we found one of the sources of the leak. A nasty rusty screw going down through my roof. Now, isn't that a bitch? I would say so. And the rain and wind is picking up outside. Isn't that lovely? So I can't do much about this until we have a dry day. And then what I will do is wait till it's completely dry and then throw everything I got at this screw to seal it from any moisture. But I'm still going to cut back some more areas here just while I'm up here. And since it's starting to rain, we'll know for sure if that's the main culprit of the leak. So I will get the camera as soon as I see a bunch of drips coming out off of that sucker and go from there. But I'm going to continue on moving down these rows. And these rows, like I showed you earlier, line right up to these rows that are the problem areas as well. So we will find out shortly what the hell is going on. I'm sure. Well, guys, I'm having a bit of a hard time comprehending this. I did find more areas that they patched all along this area here. And the weird part is I don't see any water accumulating even though it's raining. So yeah. So I guess it's a waiting game now, or I just keep going and cutting these two all the way across to these two to see if I can figure out where the infiltration's happening. I'm assuming the rust that was up on this screw that went through the roof was caused by trapped water above the foam, because I don't see any water coming out of there as of yet. Now, we still have something starting here, right where my finger's pointing, which means it would somewhere in the center area. If I cut along here, we will find the culprit, hopefully. But the corner leak seems to be holding up really well. That's been patched. We found out what that was. Big gash in the outside of the body of the trailer. And so right now it's just crap weather out. Just little drips sitting there accumulating. If it really starts pissing rain, we'll find out really quick. Oh, and on cue. It's starting to increase. So we'll see what I can find in here, guys. It's just going to be a long process. I really am pissed off that I now have to move my battery bank. I'm glad I didn't fill it, the rest of it with sand. Because, yeah. It's basically in the path now of these two rails. Actually, I'd even go beyond this rail to this side a bit and beyond. Actually, this side doesn't matter. Just these two rails, period. I'm gonna have to cut and gut all the way along here. So now that the rain's starting to really piss, I think we'll be able to figure out where the hell the source is a little bit better. I'm assuming. And so happens, right here there's a big wow where these two rails meet, where the foam is. Not quite sure what that's about with the spray foam guy. But we're gonna find out eventually when I get cutting. I'm assuming I'm just gonna keep cutting this way towards the battery bank, and then hopefully I get a dry day, and then I can move the battery bank, move this. I'm gonna have to tear down the whole solar wall like I mentioned in one of my earlier videos. Move that everything out of here, cut and patch all this up, and then move everything back. And then while I'm doing that, I might as well rip this corner 2x4 out and check the floor, even though this one's pretty much mitigated. The fan's been running since last night, still running, and it's been double bleached, and I'm sure there's nothing there left to harm anybody, so we will see. I'll just keep on trucking. I'm gonna clean up though before I go. A little cleanup as I go. My dad's next door working. He actually woke me up. He was knocking on the door and I was still sleeping in because of it was cool. It was still dark out. I don't know exactly what time it is actually, but we're getting some more rainwater caught, which is good. This tank's about 3/4 full. Had no leaks, or I would see it on the foam, the sponge mats, and on the bright orange towels. That's why those are there as an indicator instead of just dark black. So I better get my butt to chunking some more stuff. Would be nice to turn the stove on, but yeah. I can just throw my hoodie back on, I guess, for now. So yeah, I gotta cut quite the swath across here, guys. That's quite a lot of work, but it has to be done to solve everything, apparently. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But like I said, I still have to follow this rust that I found. So there's got to be another rusty screw up there that was just rusting out like crazy. So as I work my way back, we'll see what I can get done. And it's going to take a whole whack ton of spray foam to fix this nonsense. That's all I can say. Okay guys, I opened up the hole a little bit bigger. Found some strange stuff like rivets that don't do anything. They just attach to this and that's it. These guys, I found another screw rusting out away up here. Yeah, so very bizarre. I haven't seen any ton of water, which you think would happen if it's raining. Not quite sure what the deal is there, unless it's just being squeezed in this area here and it slowly leaches its way to the ends, if you know what I'm saying. That's my guess. So the foam up here is keeping the leak slow, and it's slowly leaching out to these ends, right? That's my guess anyways. But nothing's, nothing drastic has ever happened since filming. No more intensity of volume of water or anything like that. So I don't know what to say on that part. Just strange. I'm assuming though, I'm going to have to continue all the way along here to the other side though to solve this issue. That's the only thing I can come up with, and it probably will involve me removing my solar panels, putting them off to the side on the roof, and then I actually I got some Gorilla waterproof tape, but that's just for pitiful stuff. So we have Rust-Oleum leak seal, and I will not show the French side because so elastomeric roof coating, 7-year warranty, 67% reflectivity, rain resistant in 6 hours, mildew resistant, use on metal roofs, concrete modified titanium buildup, weathered shingle ply roofing. Okay, so it's some type of elastic coating with a temperature reflectivity in it. I'll have to read more on the instructions, but yeah. So that's probably going to get rolled quite a few times above the leak areas up here. That's going to be quite the project to get done before winter, if you ask me. So I'm going to continue on chunking the foam all the way across here, and that's what it is, guys. Basically that's all I can do. I'm going to try to get as large pieces out as possible and go from there. So that's what we're dealing with. Okay, so I just cut a big old opening gash here, guys, and as soon as I hit this corner, Niagara Falls happened. Okay, so whoa, sorry about that. So I have a container catching the water for now. We're definitely closing in on the leak. Now I can say for one thing for sure, guys, this is definitely underneath the solar panels, because I believe those screws are the solar panel fasteners. This, however, is beyond that, and this is the most water I've seen after cutting in, so I think we're right on track to finding what the hell the leak is. So I'm going to keep on trucking, and we'll go from there. guys, the tiny house is quite the disaster zone. I'll bring you up here and show you what I got. So discovered a whole lot of stuff, went from this side to the other like I said. Discovered some holes. We discovered rivets and all kinds of various screws coming through both directions. And this beige putty on here that looks like PL Premium. And more open holes. So what I did, because of the wetness and for my health, for breathing, I have the air purifier on full blast speed, and it seemed to really help. It dried out everything in this compartment very nicely. There's still some wet up in here around the corner, but it'll dry out eventually. And the plan is I'm gonna seal the inside tonight with some rocker guard over all these joints. And look at all these rivets and all this crap in here. What a disaster. The plan is I'm just gonna coat all this tonight and hope it doesn't rain. And then I'll be here tomorrow, and I have to remove the first solar panel from the roof, and then gonna have to roll on that plastic stuff, period. And I have to be careful not to get it on the other solar panel that's next door right here. So I'll have to end up buying some more drop sheets. Actually, I believe I have a decent amount of drop sheets in my bug out bag collection, so I'm gonna use them all. I'm also gonna run what I want to do is run a drop sheet across here tonight, so I'll attach it from wall to wall, and any moisture that, if it does rain, will catch in that. And I'll poke a little hole in the center and put this garbage can underneath. So any water that does collect will piss into there and drain away, so it doesn't, the weight doesn't kill everything. But yeah, look at this. Screws going all directions. I do not remember doing any of this, to be honest. This might be original work from when they repaired the damage from when this transport got in some kind of accident where it was ripped in this corner. And I know the top part of the roof right here is heaved up from a vehicle accident, so it's insane. So guys, let me know what you think I should do. Should I leave it for tonight to air out dry, or just hit it tonight with the rocker guard and pray that that stuff holds and fills that gap in? I'm assuming it will, now that we have the mystery of where the water's coming from discovered here, and it looks like quite a bit. So if you notice here, let me zoom in, right there, see the foam that's wiggling? That was my indicator that the airflow is getting all the way across in here through this whole channel to dry everything out. And this was the issue, guys. I had pans over here stopping or collecting the little drips of water, and then I had pans on this side as well, or a towel. So now that we found all this nonsense up here, it was a ton of work to do this by hand. I used a steak knife, serrated steak knife, and a straight blade screwdriver that is now covered in rust. And the rust actually came from mostly these galvanized rivets, as far as I can tell. I think a lot of it came from the screws that were down through, but it looks like these rivets were soaking for the majority of the time, especially these guys. This must have been a low spot. So yeah. I'm gonna show my dad all this before I do anything and get his opinion, but I'm pretty sure it's dry enough to foam. Pretty sure. Or not foam, I mean, just rocker guard it, just completely blast it in here and then get the hell out. Now, instead of moving the battery box, I just put a drop cloth down, and that saved my ass because I needed the fan running. Needed some power in here. It'd be definitely working in the dark. But yeah, I got a lot of work tomorrow to do, and I busted balls today to get this done. I've been here ever since I woke up working. I had to run for my dad to get him lunch, and he needed, what else did I have to pick up for him? Oh no, I went for lunch for him, and then I went and got some drop cloths. So it's now 5 o'clock, 10 after 5, September 25th, 2021, and got a whole lot done here, guys. Whole lot done. Had to be done. And now that we know exactly where all the holes are, I'm going to you know, obviously have to roll this entire section of roof up here. I may even have to disconnect both panels, solar panels, to do it, which is not a problem because I have an on-off switch right there. So not too worried because they're just wired in series. But this is the second load of crap. This is the first load in this bucket, so should be able to fill this up with the rest for sure. So yeah, guys, I believe a lot of these screws were from, like, those are from the solar panels on the ends. I know they are 1 and 1, 1 and 1, but the rest of this is a mystery to me. I believe some of these holes that are busted off were my dad drilled holes through my flat solar panels, which I told him not to do at all whatsoever on a flat roof, but he did anyways. And then when he did the plywood at one time, he tried putting plywood on the roof to make it a lean-to, and I said no. And then it was too late. He already screwed that stuff down. So that's why these mystery holes that have no screws in them are up here, I believe. And yeah, not fun. So it's not supposed to rain till Thursday. It is Saturday. I need to go check my lotto ticket to maybe get me the hell out of this hellhole. maybe I'll win something. I don't know. Wouldn't that be something? I'd still finish the tiny house though, even if I did win a jackpot. But I'm not that lucky, so I'm not holding my breath. It's basically the only gambling I can do now because the casinos are closed. So yeah, well, closed to me since I don't have a vaccine passport. You disobedient slave, you, Rob, how dare you. So yeah, so I'm gonna show him before I do any more, and I gotta get some videos off to you guys here on Patreon to show you the nonsense going on. So I'll bring the camera home tonight for sure. Alright, see you guys later.